Jason Voorhees is known to be one of the most iconic slashers throughout decades and decades of being up on the big screen. Jason Voorhees is a popular name that we all know and love. And what do you think when you first hear Jason Voorhees? Well, I think of the hockey mask dude with a wielding machete. Crazy and unbeatable and unkillable. Very similar to Michael, but it has his own types of charms and awesome different kinds of aesthetics to make him feel like his own character. Now, I put up a post a couple days ago, and at this point, and I wanted to talk about the post. So I posted whether or not you all wanted for me to continue the I Haven't Seen in a While series, only this time talking about Jason Voorhees, or you all wanted me to explain kind of like how I fell in love with Christmas and Halloween. And I do plan on making that video soon, but you all wanted to hear about the amazing trilogy of Jason Voorhees animatronics. And as I researched into this, there really wasn't that many, but there was definitely disappointments. We're going to be ranging all the way back from the good old days of Jimmy animatronics all the way until the modern times Jason Voorhees animatronic, but there's really not that many. But without any further ado, I want to go over with you all these animatronics that made the Jason Voorhees animatronic trilogy become a possibility. So here we go. I want to talk to you all about the gem, the diamond of the Jason Voorhees animatronic series, and that was the 2007 to 2009 Jimmy life-size animated Jason. This animatronic was extremely intimidating, ranging, I do believe, over almost 7 feet tall. He was sold at Spirit Halloween during the time, like I said, of 2007 to 2009. And this Jason animatronic was as realistic as it could get, with great facial detail and specifics to the outfits that he was wearing, and amazing movements. This animatronic at the time was the first one I had ever been exposed to as a kid, and this was the only one I ever knew for a while. This Jason animatronic had a more faded palette. His jacket was more of an army brownish green, I guess you could say, and the rest of his clothes were pretty much black. His mask also fit the color of his jacket. It was more of like a faded grayish white. On top of that, he wielded his machete and had black gloves. And what made this Jason so amazing was the fact that he not only had head movement, he had eye movement, torso movement, and arm movement, along with an amazing soundtrack from the movie. This animatronic shaped up to be one of the best Jason Voorhees animatronics to ever to date. Sadly, though, they did have their own small malfunctions. A lot of them ended up having arm malfunctions, a lot of them ended up having bad torso malfunctions, and did not, I guess you could say, hold up well during the time. Now, there were multiple generations of this one model, ranging from between the times of 2007 to 2009, and each time I do believe Jimmy tried to implement a better way to make this guy possible. But the first model to ever exist was definitely one of the best, and this guy has always been an icon and a legend to the Halloween community because of his detail and how much love was put into him by the company known as Jimmy back in their prime. Now, as a side note, I wanted to talk about the Jason Voorhees animatronic that was made in 2010. I do believe around that time. This one came with a new color palette. It was the same kind of thing, only a new type of generation and model. This one had the more light brown garden gloves with the more light brown Jason Voorhees hockey mask. On top of that, his color palette was more colorful, along with dirty blue jeans, a black, very dark navy blue jacket that was dirty, and dark brown boots. This Jason Voorhees, while he looked a little more traditional, he did not match the original palette that we know of today as the Jason Voorhees we all know and love on the big screens, but was still a very great and notable animatronic to be able to produce and also show to you all in this collection. Because while he was the same, he had a completely different look to him, and that's what made his charm the best. And it really just goes down to what type of version of Jason you like more with this guy. The older models were definitely a little more, I guess you could say, dull on the color, but the detail was amazing. This model had a lot more brighter colors and looked, I want to say, a little more like Jason in a lot of ways. But at the end of the day, both of them were the same, and both of them paved the road to an amazing, I guess you could say, trilogy of Jason animatronics. The sadly small, dead, and flimsy stick of the bunch.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Now this Jason Voorhees was made back in 2018, sold at Party City, and I do believe was made by Morbid Enterprises along with their Michael Myers that did not do much. This Jason Voorhees, as you all can see, was not the best in my opinion. Now, I feel like there will be that one special person out there who will say that this one was not that bad. But this one was bad. I hate to break it to you. This one did not have the best aesthetic to him, nor did it really come with that much. Now, this is when pole-based animatronics were in full swing, and we were still coming out of this horrible, I guess you could say, animatronic depression of bad animatronics at the time. And don't get me wrong, back in 2018 there were definitely some good ones, but we went through a time period, I do believe, ranging from 2013 all the way up, that just, we slowly started seeing the decline of Halloween animatronics come upon us. And here just recently we've started seeing things come back to normal. However, I am saying this because this Jason Voorhees animatronic, while he was in his own way kind of cool, he did not have what we were looking for in a Jason Voorhees animatronic. Now, at the time, people were very excited to even see this guy because we had not gotten a Jason Voorhees animatronic in a very, very long time. Now, if you want to kind of, I guess, say, count the mini horror figure, sure, but we have not seen a life-size in a very long time. Now, what makes this guy such a disappointment, in my opinion, was the voice, the soundtrack that they used with this. It was very monotone. It was very quiet. It didn't have much noise to it at all. And as he moved only back and forth very slowly, and his eyes would light up. Now, when I think of Jason, I think of very intimidating, big, huge. And this guy was tall, yes, don't get me wrong, but he kind of just looked like the front cover of a Spirit Halloween costume. And he looked like a child, honestly, trying to cosplay as Jason Voorhees. The colors were okay, I guess. The jacket was kind of spot on, but in my opinion, the undershirt was definitely not. And I could see they tried to go for a black pants and black boots aesthetic, which I don't think is bad, but the color palette just did not mix together. Not to mention the fact that the head was very small and the eyes glue red, and in my opinion, Jason should not have that. Jason should not have glowing red eyes, and he definitely should not be this slender. And again, while it was a big surprise from all of us, it was a good attempt, it just did not go down well for this Jason animatronic. And this Jason animatronic has been lost and forgotten throughout the ages. It is barely ever mentioned anymore by the community because, just like the Michael Myers from 2020, nobody, in my opinion, really wants to think about it or remember this guy as anything but a fail. Finally, I wanted to go on to number 3. The 2022 Jason animatronic. Now, I know that a lot of people were very hyped up for this. This was Jimmy's new Jason Voorhees that was sold this year. And it's the first one we have seen in a very long time. Referencing back to the 2010 model, this Jason pretty much fits the same criteria. The only thing that's different is the shading just a little bit. And the only other difference is that the detail on the face once you lift up the mask is rather disappointing.
That's nasty.
However, I think the overall appearance of this Jason Voorhees was very well thought out. I think Jimmy did a very good job implementing this. The only drawback that I have for this animatronic was the fact that this Jason Voorhees only moved his arm up and down, but he had original soundtrack. I do believe they took the mini horror figure soundtrack and implemented it, but it worked, and that's what matters. And I do believe this guy sold pretty well. He looks a little more cartoonish, but for being a modern Jimmy prop, this animatronic was definitely a lot better compared to that Morbid Enterprises one that we saw that was sold in Halloween City in 2018. This animatronic is a mixture of good and bad, in my opinion. But in my opinion, I think it's shaping the way for the possibility of getting better Jason Voorhees animatronics, and it's definitely showing that times are improving now instead of declining. I really do love the way this guy looks. I think his overall color palette is very bright. It pops. I think it's very noticeable, and it's also very eye-catching. I also do believe that the mask is very well detailed. I do think that they could have added more to it, but overall, I think this Jason Voorhees animatronic has the right kind of mask going for him. The machete, while a lot of people have complained about it, a lot of people have also said that they like it as well. But overall, I think besides the gloves and the mask, I think the color choices and the overall outfit match Jason perfect. And I have to say, this is a much bigger improvement. However, like I've said before, I haven't seen a perfect Jason Voorhees animatronic in a very long time. And we probably never will, so I will take what I can get. Every Jason Voorhees animatronic here in the past has been decent, except for the older Jimmy models, which was perfect. Now again, we will probably never be able to see that, but it would be awesome to at least see a Jason Voorhees animatronic of the 2022 life-size caliber, but with a little bit more detail and possible head movements. If we could get that, I would say that we would be right back to where we started, and that would be the 2007 to 2010 Jason Voorhees animatronics. I have to admit, while there's not much out there, 2 of the 3 have really impressed me, and I can't wait to hopefully see if there's a possibility we will get a better animatronic in the future. If Jimmy keeps improving, hopefully we'll see them be able to pull something off that's better compared to what we have seen here lately. Maybe we might see Techie do something, who knows. Maybe we might see SVI finally pick up some characters that involve copyright trademarks, I guess you could say, but only time will tell. But like I said before, I haven't seen a good Jason Voorhees animatronic in a little while, but that's only because he has not been brought to the light the way Michael Myers has. However, these animatronics are not that bad, except for the Morbid one. I think we can all just toss that one to the side. But anyways, you all, I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button for me. I always try to upload weekly, never try to disappoint. Anyways, you all, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. This is Jimmy Bones, signing off. I will talk to you guys in the next video. See ya.